China has been expanding its missile arsenal and capabilities for years, raising concerns in the Pentagon. China's missile branch, the Rocket Force, has been heavily investing in new weapons. The Chinese Rocket Force's increasingly capable missile fleet is a growing threat to U.S. bases and security partners in the Asia-Pacific. In some areas, the Rocket Force's capabilities have already surpassed those of the United States, such as with its so-called carrier-killer hypersonic missiles. They could potentially keep American forces at bay in a wartime scenario. The sight of a Chinese bomber carrying a heavy new type of hypersonic missile has heightened fears that it has found a way to counter America's most potent weapon, its 80,000-ton nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth believes the Chinese military's hypersonic missiles could sink all U.S. aircraft carriers within the first minutes of a potential conflict. Mr. Hegseth said in a November interview, months before becoming Defense Secretary, that the People's Liberation Army's deployment of ultra-high-speed anti-ship missiles highlights Beijing's rapid drive to build weapons specifically designed to target the American military. China is building a military force specifically dedicated to defeating the United States of America. China's missile arsenal is estimated to include 400 ground-launched cruise missiles capable of reaching anywhere within the so-called First Island chain. China is also believed to field 1,300 intermediate-range ballistic missiles that can strike targets even further afield, threatening the Second Island chain, which includes U.S. military bases in Guam. One of China's ballistic missiles, the DF-26, has been commonly referred to as the Guam Express or the Guam Killer because it can reach U.S. forces on the island, which is roughly 3,000 miles from Beijing. It can also be used in an anti-ship role, earning it another nickname, carrier killer, like the DF-21D. Other Chinese ballistic missiles have raised concerns in the Pentagon, including its DF-17 and DF-27 hypersonic missiles, short-range ballistic missiles like the DF-15 that give China the ability to strike Taiwan with relative ease, and intercontinental ballistic missiles like the DF-5, DF-31, and newer DF-41. And the arsenal isn't limited solely to ballistic missiles, with Chinese cruise missiles also representing a threat. Last year, in its report on China's military, the Pentagon assessed that the PLA intended to use AI and machine learning to enhance its missile sensors, which could make them more accurate. Other capabilities within information gathering and targeting could improve missile accuracy as well. Reconnaissance drones and satellites could be a key part of the growing kill web, transmitting key information to command and control centers for decisions on how and what to attack. China's missiles are becoming a deadlier problem for the U.S. military due to complex evolutions in the country's kill chains. China's military has developed a kill web that makes its weapons more accurate and reliable. A kill web is an evolution of a kill chain, including systems across domains and technologies. The kill web is an evolved concept of a traditional kill chain, described as being more interconnected across systems and domains and more resilient to disruption. The Pentagon has been focused on China's growing arsenal of missiles for years. China's advances in hypersonic missile technology, difficult to intercept missiles that travel at over 5 times the speed of sound, remain a major concern for the Pentagon. In particular, the Dongfeng 17 hypersonic missile may increasingly replace older missile systems and could target foreign bases and naval assets in the Western Pacific. Though China still lags far behind the US and Russia in warhead count, the country has rapidly expanded its nuclear forces in recent years, a buildup analysts attribute to President Xi Jinping's emphasis on nuclear deterrence against the US. The US Department of Defense estimates China surpassed the 600 warhead mark last year and is on track to field over 1,000 operational warheads in the coming years. Beyond missile systems, officials also discussed kill webs or networks of sensors, satellites, and weapons that detect threats, share data, and coordinate military responses across air, land, sea, and space. The Pentagon has been focused on China's growing arsenal of missiles for years, noting their ranges and stockpiles put the US and its allies in the region at risk should conflict break out. And there are force-multiplying capabilities that make that a more daunting challenge. Speaking to lawmakers on the Senate Committee on Appropriations last week, U.S. Chief of Space Operations stated that the People's Liberation Army, China's military, has fielded satellite-enabled, space-based targeting of terrestrial forces. This kill web has extended the range and accuracy of PLA weapons to hold US forces at risk. Saltzman added that the Space Force has the difficult task of defeating this kill web should the US and China go to war. The kill web is something he's brought up before, characterizing it as a critical concern. China's military, the general said back in May, has developed what we've kind of, tongue-in-cheek, called a kill web, and it's nothing more than a series of hundreds of satellites that are a sensor network that provide real-time updates, targeting quality information of our force. The kill web is an evolved concept of a traditional kill chain, described as being more interconnected across systems and domains and more resilient to disruption. The US is actively working to expand its own web. In a statement before the recent Senate committee hearing, Air Force leadership shared that it recognizes the need to develop interconnected, multi-platform systems that can operate within and across services to create a robust and redundant, long-range kill web capable of delivering effects within the most contested environments. That requires, it said, investing in every aspect of the so-called kill web, from traditional platforms and communication equipment to AI and weapons systems. China's missiles are becoming a deadlier problem for the US military due to complex evolutions in the country's kill chains, according to a top American general. To perpetuate its hegemony and advance the so-called Indo-Pacific strategy, the US has deployed offensive weaponry in the South China Sea and kept stoking flames and creating tensions in the Asia-Pacific. General David Alvin, US Air Force Chief of Staff, the PRC is rapidly modernizing its military with the clear intent to reshape the international order to include nuclear breakout that includes unmatched deterrence capabilities. Lu Pingyu, spokesperson, Chinese Embassy in the US, China adheres to the path of peaceful development, pursues a defensive national defense policy, and develops its military power entirely to safeguard national sovereignty, security, and development interests.